Welcome to my journey through the Bible. This will be a little more in-depth study of the chapter and some lessons that we can apply to our life. So we are in Genesis 11. So we'll talk a little bit about the Tower of Babel. This was most likely a type of pyramid that we see a lot of time in Egypt's culture and buildings, where it has layers on it that looks basically like steps. It's a triangle. It could be 300 feet in height and is in width as well. This tower was something that basically became a monument. It was something that the people worked together to build. It was a human achievement. While this was a great building it would have been the focus point of the city. You probably would have been able to see it from miles away. This monument kind of became the people's idol, basically. This was their achievement. It was the thing that was going to consume their life. Today we have monuments. Today maybe it's our achievements that seem to take place over everything. It could be our jobs, our cars, our homes. Maybe it's a famous person that is an actress, a singer, a player of football, baseball, whatever. And while it's not wrong for us to enjoy these things in life, we have to be very careful that it does not consume our life, that it does not become an idol for us, that it does not become the place of God. And the way we can really assess and look at this is, how much do we obsess over that thing or that person? If you're really into certain vehicles, you probably know the year they came out, when they changed their models. You'll know all these little details about them, just like if there's a famous person that you seem to just really fall in love with, so to speak. You know all their hobbies, their habits. You know every time they change their hair color, or every time a movie comes out that they're in, or a commercial that they play in. You know if they're famous as far as a sport, you know their strategies that they use. If these things become what we obsess about, and you know more about this person or this thing than you know about the living God who created us, there might be a problem there. You might be a little more obsessed over them. I would say when you look over the area of your life and you figure out, hey, what consumes most of my life? If God is not a big part of that, we need to reassess. You need to build this relationship with God and pray about it and get in the Word and study, so that you can learn how to prioritize the things in your life and make sure that God is at the top of that list. Another thing that I would say that we have to be aware of is making plans. These people in this chapter decided to come together and work together and to achieve something great. While that in itself is not wrong, if your motive is wrong, if you're achieving it to evaluate yourself, to put you above others, that could turn into pride and selfishness. So it's something we need to be aware of. As we make our plans to go places and do things, we have to allow God to direct us. God has a plan and a purpose for each one of our lives. And He will give us leeway to make decisions and to do things. But if the things that we are doing does not line up with God's will for us, we're going to probably have some heartache. We're going to run into some roadblocks. And there's going to be some consequences that come to that. Now, don't get me wrong. God loves us and He will bless us. He will bless us in ways that we are not even aware of. If we're self-centered, we may not be able to see those blessings. But at the same time, when we do wrong or we don't obey Him, then there's going to be consequences that come from that. And we have to realize that in the Bible, it tells us that God's ways are not our ways. God's thoughts are not our thoughts. God's ways and thoughts are much higher than ours and much more in depth. I would say the bottom line is that we can't argue with God. He's going to be right every time and all the time.